the next level.
You both were part of the Economic Summit Committee, and what part were you involved in?
I'm the chair of the Energy Committee.
Okay. And yourself?
I chaired the Economic Development Committee.
Okay. Two important committees, obviously, but tell us a little bit about yourself first and the company that you run or don't run. I don't know you.
Okay, hi. My name is Miriam Ross. I'm a business attorney. I've practiced law for over 30 years, providing advice and counsel to smaller businesses and entrepreneurs and business owners throughout the state. I draw from all different types of businesses in the state and provide services, and that way I'm also an expert in corporate governance and business ethics. I'm an adjunct professor as well at Roger Williams School of Law in the state.
And yourself?
My name's Mark Dieon. I own Dieon Associates and Strategies, Inc., which is a strategic management consulting firm. We've been in business for just under 30 years. We do business restructuring. We go in and we actually fix companies that are in trouble, and I've been an active activist for small business, both at State House, regionally, and down in Washington, D.C. for just about as many years.
And why was this economic summit and the committee that you guys put together, why is it important for Rhode Island and for the future of Rhode Island?
Without a healthy economy, you don't have a healthy state.
And are we saying that the state is not healthy right now?
I think what we're saying is that the state has a lot of opportunity for growth and growing our small businesses, provided that we give them support, give them access to capital, and use our resources, deploy them in a way, and leverage what we have. But yeah, we're in a difficult spot, and so all we can do is look upward.
And maybe in the past, energy might not have been considered, but this is an important part of the committee for all of the world, but specifically for Rhode Island, because it's definitely maybe a vertical we should be really thinking about.
Rhode Island is uniquely situated, given our topography, our natural resources, and our human resources here in Rhode Island, and our entrepreneurial spirit. We have both the market side to develop as well as the demand side to develop, and we have lots of opportunity. Not only we hear a lot about wind, but there are lots of other renewables which we can deploy: solar, geothermal, photovoltaic. Lots of opportunities that we need to invest in, and the challenge for our policymakers and for the state is to find that proper balance of investing in the renewable energy space as well as spurring on the demand for the products and services that it can provide. There's no question that we can control renewable energy. We can't control fossil fuel costs. We can control renewable energy, and we can really harness that to provide energy in a lower cost way and in a way that's better for the environment overall.
Excellent. And what came out of your part of the committee, and where is it going to be moving forward?
Well, one of the primary tenets that we started off with, and we used this last year as well, is that all of our recommendations had to be expense neutral, and everything had to have an immediate return on investment. You know, it's time to stop spending. It's time to stop asking the General Assembly for money to do something that's going to do something 10 years down the road. So what we did was we identified some critical problems for small businesses in the state. One of them is access to capital. How can we increase access to capital for small businesses in the state without the state having to expend any money? And we came up with some solutions to that via the reinstatement of the SBA guaranteed tax credit. Those loans are guaranteed by the federal government, not by the state. But we also recommended that EDC, now that it has a loan guarantee authority, and there are some federal funds coming to the table, that possibly they could do a supplemental guarantee on top of those loans. Two other things which were critical: employers in the state of Rhode Island actually pay a job development tax to provide for training to bring our workers up to a skilled workforce or to retrain them as the industries change. So we're not asking the General Assembly for money. What we're asking is that a prudent and judicious use of those funds, as the General Assembly created that program years and years ago, be reinstated so we actually are training a skilled workforce. It's not saying you need to spend more money. It's not saying we need more money. It's saying do what we intended to do 10 or 15 years ago with these programs. We want you to do it now, and we want you to spend the money wisely. And we think the return on investment will be humongous. Just the tax credit in the loan programs guaranteed by the SBA created 23,000 jobs in a 10-year period of time. As that tax credit went away, that access to capital went away, the job creation went away, the business development, the business expansion, and the business startup went away. Those are things that create tax revenues for the state. So rather than say you need to spend more, it's figure out a way to incentivize other people to do economic development so the state becomes healthier.
And then, so there's a next level to this, obviously, as far as where the future of Rhode Island is going to go, and how do we get some of these ideas to push forward now from what you guys talked about?
Well, what I was going to say is, in part, it's by initiating and sparking legislation and engaging the business community as well as our legislators. But I want to make note of, to Mark's comments on being expense neutral, with respect to renewable energy. The Renewable Energy Fund and its renewal, because it's set to expire in 2013, is itself, the renewal is, we're already paying into it, the ratepayer already pays into it, and we're looking to use a larger portion of that for renewable energy. But the way that we get this going is by being engaged and being part of the process and being positive about the opportunities that we have, and we can do that.
So there is a positive future for Rhode Island?
Oh, we think there's been a positive future for Rhode Island for the last 2 decades. It's a matter of whether or not we're capable of implementing it. And I think what we've seen in the last couple of economic summits, because this was our 5th, at this summit there were 37 members of the General Assembly. There were the entire slate of general offices. And we don't do this once. We meet continually year-round. We have a revisit back coming up in the end of March, but we're already meeting with members of the General Assembly. We've set up sessions with them. This is a continual process. It's year-long. It's not one meeting or 2 meetings or 1 or 2 interviews. It's a year-long process, and we've been doing it for 5. And the outlook or the points of view that I got from members of the General Assembly and the President of the Senate, Pavel Weed, and Speaker Fox was that they really liked the fact that we weren't asking for money. We were making suggestions that were expense neutral, positive, immediate return on investment. And we think that there's going to be a lot of cooperation. The other thing I will say is, the reappointment of Keith Stokes as the Director of Economic Development is an extremely wise move based upon some of the plans that he has put in place that focus on all of the things that people have been complaining about EDC. Director Stokes has actually taken the steps to do that, and it's good to see some of that continuity moving forward.